I want to move on to what was happening in Texas while all of this was going on in Washington. You had Texas State Senator Wendy Davis capturing the attention of the country with her how many hour filibuster?
13 hour, 12 hour?
13 hours, something like that. Describe what happened, Ruth.
Well, this was the end of the session, and Texas had proposed, the legislature was looking at yet another one of these abortion restriction laws that is on its face unconstitutional. This is not a partisan or ideological statement. Given the state of the Supreme Court law, it does not stand up to what the court had said in Roe and the cases afterwards. It would, among other things, make abortion illegal after 20 weeks, not after viability in all cases. And it would have imposed stringent rules on abortion clinics such that I think Texas would have been down to just a few abortion clinics from the relatively small number it already has. And this is similar to laws that are proposed or in some cases on the books in a number of states. There's just been a relatively little noticed groundswell of state-level abortion restrictions being passed in hopes, perhaps, that the Supreme Court will once again reconsider its abortion rulings. So, Senator,
the opponents tried to stop her, saying that somebody was helping her.
So she was mounting this filibuster, and Texas apparently has some very strict rules on what counts as a acceptable filibuster. You can't take any break. You can't bring in reinforcements. You can't touch the desk. You can't veer off topic in even the slightest possible way. For example, she brought up Planned Parenthood, and that was ruled problematic. Or she brought up sonogram laws, and that was ruled off topic. But as her filibuster was being ruled out of line, there was kind of a revolt from in and outside the chamber. Yeah. So the vote did not on this measure, which was going to pass, did not happen in time for the midnight deadline. Texas Governor Rick Perry has said he wants to call the legislature back into session to get it passed.
And to add insult to injury, the Texas governor then went on to make some really patronizing remarks about Wendy Davis.
Right. He said that she was the child of a single mother. She herself bore a child as a teenager as a single mother, and he said, it would do her well to think about the value of every life. The suggestion seemed to be that she was somebody who maybe shouldn't have been around in the first place,
or wouldn't have been around in the first place if yes. Abortions had been permitted. And she actually, I thought, took that on very well. Her response was, having been in that position herself, being pregnant as a teenager, deciding whether to continue with a pregnancy, that what she wanted to do was to make sure that the choice she had, which was she continued her pregnancy, was available to anybody to decide yes or no.
And now there is concern that her own position will be redistricted out.
Yes, how magnificently ironic story convergence this is. One of the impacts of the Supreme Court's ruling on the Voting Rights Act, and there's some redistricting and gerrymandering going on in Texas, and apparently her seat is potentially at issue. But I have to say, she has turned herself into, if not a national figure, certainly a statewide figure, and I personally would like to get a pair of those pink sneakers.
I bet there are a lot of people who would.